Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dixie Cups Cooking Corner. Okay, what we're doing today is a seafood pasta. I would say fettuccine, but I'm not using fettuccine noodles. So I like the angel hair pasta, so that's what I'm going to use today. I'm going to create a sauce to go over my angel hair pasta noodles. And I'm going to have steamed broccoli on the side with just a little salt and pepper, just as a vegetable on the side of the pasta. My pasta will consist of, I have some shrimp. I'm going to put this in here because it was just kind of like hanging out in the freezer and I didn't know what else to do with it. So I'm just going to add it in to my cheese sauce today. And I have some crawfish tails. So I'm going to put these three in. And I'm going to use three kinds of cheese. Velveeta cheese, this Alfredo cheese out of the jar. You can choose whatever brand you want, or if you want to make your own Alfredo cheese, completely up to you. And I'm going to use the Philadelphia cream cheese. Now I'm not going to use all of this. So when I cut it down and prep everything, I'll show you just how much I'm going to use. But I'm going to use the whole jar of this. I'm probably going to use half of this and a quarter of this. It's not going to be a lot. Okay. I'm going to mix those three. I'm going to melt them down in some butter and milk and cream it together. So that's how I'm going to get my cheese sauce for my pasta, my seafood pasta. I'm going to just use this, the garlic. I like the fresh garlic and I like to mince it myself. But I'm going to use this today. This is a quick little, if you love garlic, a quick go-to for your garlic. I'm going to cut an onion up and a bell pepper, okay? And this is going to be my bread. Some little garlic knots you can get out the frozen department. Slap them in the oven or in your air fryer, and there you go. Okay, I have this stick of butter because I'm going to use this to help to melt my cheese down, okay? So once I get everything prepped, I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm back. What I'm about to do here is cook my meats down. I have my crawfish tails, my fish, and this is imitation crab meat. I'm not really too crazy about this. I'm not really a fan of it. But since I had it in the freezer, I'm just deciding to put it in my pasta today. Okay, my crawfish, shrimp, and the imitation crab meat. So with this, the reason I rinse my seafoods off and everything and let it strain so that I get all the excess water off of it. So when I do decide to drop it in a little oil, it won't have a lot of water in there, and it just, I kind of like for it to just to cook thoroughly. I don't like all the extra water, so that's why I strain it first before. And I think this is a little bit too hot. You take that off for a second so that can cool down a little bit because it's a little hot, and I don't want to have an explosion once I drop that off into the grease. But here I have the Philadelphia cream cheese, the Velveeta cheese, my onions, and my bell peppers. And I have my garlic here. I'm going to put some of this in there. Now again, I don't really measure. So this is one whole bell pepper. This is one whole onion, and this is it's the 8-ounce box of the Philadelphia cream cheese. And this is not quite a half a block of the Velveeta cheese, but almost. So it's a little short of being half of a block of the regular Velveeta cheese, and it melts easier. I just like to use that. And like I said, I'm going to also use this Alfredo cheese. Now with this, you can choose whatever brand you want, or if you don't want to use it at all, this is just a mixture of cheeses that I'm using today. It won't make a big difference as far as how it looks, but it will give it a nice creamy flavor to your sauce. So as soon as I get this in the pot, get it started, I'll be back. Okay, so I have my crawfish tails, my imitation crab meat, and my shrimp in the pan. I'm gonna mix it together, cook it down for about maybe 7 minutes. It just all depends on how fast that it cooks. And once I do that, once I get them cooked pretty good, I'm gonna add my vegetables in, my onion and my bell pepper. And then separately, in a separate pot, I'm gonna mix my cheeses and melt my cheeses together. It's fairly quick meal. You don't always have to use this particular combination of meats. You can just use shrimp. You can just use crawfish tails. I just like to do something a little different because I get tired of eating the same things over and over again. So you can also use, of course, I have the imitation crab meat here, but you can use the real crab meat if you want. Yeah, it's completely up to you. You can even add whatever. You can add smoked sausage in, whatever you want. Now, before this really starts cooking, I'm going to add in this dry season. I'm going to use this today since this is my go-to. I love it. So, I just bought this when I ran out of the last container I had. You see that I ran out of it? I'm almost out of it. But I love this because it's almost like a seasonal that I used to use when I was a little girl. My mom used to buy the seasonal. And this reminds me of that. It might be the same company that makes this. But the seasonal is a little saltier than what this is. It's not as much salt in this one. So, and the name of it is, it's by Morton's. The name of it is Nature Seasoning. So I'm going to use this. Some of this on there. And then, too, as well with this, you don't want to use a lot of salt in this dish because the cheese have salt in it. So you don't want to definitely overdo it with the salt in this dish. You can add cayenne pepper. You can, whatever else, you want to do as far as the spice is concerned. But as far as the salt content, the cheese have it. And you'll definitely overdo it if you add. You think you need a lot, you really don't. I'm not a big fan of salt. I like for my food to taste, but I'm just not a big fan. I'm also going to use this. So today I'm just going to use these two to make it simple. Just use these two. And this because it has the salt content. This one don't have the salt content, but it's the other spices and everything that's in this that'll give it the kick that I'm looking for. Like I said, I'm not doing too much today. I worked yesterday and I just wanted to come in the kitchen and do a little something and be out and do other things that I need to take care of. And I also wanted to share a video with you guys, okay? So I'm going to cook this down for a few minutes and then I'm going to add in my onions and bell peppers and I'll be back to show you how that looks, okay? See you later. Okay, you guys, I'm back and what I did was I have my shrimp, crawfish tails, and my imitation crab meat with the onions and bell peppers in here now. So I'm basically sauteing it down so I can get my vegetables to be soft because I'm going to put this on the side and let it simmer while I do my cream sauce. I also added the garlic like I said I was going to do. I also have some parsley here. I cut this the other day. Love it. I love my fresh parsley. So I'm going to put that in there too. Over the top. And then just mix it in so that my vegetables will get soft. It don't take long for shrimp. And the crawfish tails, like it don't take long for that. Just saute that in. No, you don't want it to be raw, but you saute it in there. Beautiful look. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, okay. So I'm gonna put a lid on this and sit it on the other aisle and let it simmer. Just put it on low and let it simmer while I get my cream sauce together. So once I get that started, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to show you what kind of pasta that I'm going to use. I'm not using the fettuccine noodles because I'm not a big fan of those because they're so thick and they stick together. So I'm using the angel hair pasta today. And what I'm doing now is I have it on like a medium fire and I'm melting a half a stick of margarine in the skillet. And I have a half a cup of milk here. So I'm going to get this started. Put my cheeses in there. And this is just a small saucepan, or you can use pretty much, I guess, maybe a small pot. Whatever floats you, whatever get the job done. You don't have to be so, technical what you use as long as you can get the job done. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna melt this down. My Philadelphia cream cheese, my Velveeta cheese in the milk and butter. I'm gonna cream this together, melt it down, and then I'll add this last, which is the Alfredo sauce. And what I'm gonna do instead of mixing it all together, I'm just gonna top the pasta with the meat and cheese mixture. I'm not gonna mix it all together because I just feel like you get more out of it when you do it this way. I think it's a little more cleaner when you just top it with this. This is just me, but but I just find that you get a little bit more out of the dish when you put the mixture on top of your pasta. So I'm gonna get this mixed together and add in this Alfredo sauce. And I'll be back. Okay, you guys, I'm back. What I did was I mixed all my cheeses together, and what happened? Got a little carried away, turned the oil up a little bit too high, and I kind of burnt my cheese a little bit. It kind of caught at the bottom of the pan, but I kind of smoothed it out. So you got to be careful when you're melting cheese. I'm sure you guys probably already know this. To put it on a low, take your time and melt it. And you can also use a whisk like I'm doing here to make sure that that it don't lump up and burn, because it'll burn easily. That's kind of why I put the butter at the bottom of the pan so that it don't do that. But I turned it up a little high, too high, and I burned my cheese a little bit, but it's okay. It is quite all right. Okay, so I'm gonna get my cheese out of the pan and just pour it over my crawfish, shrimp, and artificial crab meat. And from here, I'll probably just turn it on like just a low, if that, because it's basically done at this point. Your vegetables cooked down, your seafood and everything is cooked down, so you're basically finished. But just to keep it warm, you can put it on a warm. Just keep checking it, because that cheese, it definitely will burn on you, so you gotta be careful with that. So I'm just mixing it in together. It's beautiful. It's gonna taste beautiful too. So, okay. This looks so good. I want to eat now. So once you do this, like I said, it's basically done at this point. All you have to do is just put it on another burner. You can let it sit, or you can put it like on a low, but I would suggest not to do anything to it. Just put a lid on it because it's still hot. So put a lid on it and let it be, because this cheese would definitely burn easy. Okay? That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook it. We having issues over here, you guys, with this tripod. I think I might have to put it out on the road. It got to go. It's fumbling and all that, and I can't have all that. I got to get a better little tripod because we having some issues. But what I'm going to do now is just boil my angel hair pasta in some butter and water, chop up my broccoli and let it steam with some salt and pepper, and put my little garlic knots in the air fryer, okay? And once I'm done with all of that, I'll be back to show you the finishing product. Be right back. Okay, you guys, I am finished with everything. I did my broccoli, cut it down, Steamed it with just some salt and pepper and some butter. Had my little garlic knots. I put them in the air fryer, and my seafood cheese mixture. And this is the finished results. My broccoli. Really good, really good. Well, I didn't try it yet, but I did taste some of the cheese sauce. Delicious. Okay. Thank you for joining me in making my famous seafood pasta. There's different ways you can do it. Like I said, you can add whatever you want. If you don't want seafood, if you're allergic to seafood, you can't use that. You can use chicken or smoked sausage or whatever kind of meats you want to put in there and do your own thing. But this is just my way of doing it. And how I came about the Philadelphia cream cheese, one day I just had it in my fridge. And I was like, well, I wonder how that'll taste in my fettuccine. So let me try it. So I did, and I've been using it ever since. So, you may have some things in your fridge or just hanging out there. Throw them in a dish, and give your food a different flavor, a different feel. Until next time, thank you for joining me on Dixie's Cooking Corner. See you later.